So sorry, everybody. Thanks for your patience. But we will go ahead and get us started. If you have any questions, you can submit via the Q&A box, either anonymously, or if you don't submit anonymous, when we answer that, it will just show in the chat with your name. No issues either way. We're happy to answer. If you do see that we elect to answer those live, please know we are going to address those at the end in our Q&A section, but we are not ignoring your question. We want to make sure that they are all getting answered here today. So welcome to our summer STEP program. We'll go ahead and just start off with a poll and see what is the top 3 things on your mind right now. So if you don't mind just clicking through those, let us know what's on your mind at this stage of the summer. Let's see if hopefully we can get some of those questions answered today. I see a couple answers coming in. Ooh, some orientation questions, some transfer questions. Portable food on campus, order system. How do I park? How do I get to campus? I see 45% of you are interested in that, which means that number is going up. So y'all are in the right place. We're happy to support with those today. You have the right people in the room for that. Awesome. Well, thanks, folks. That's helpful to see. It looks like it's changed a little bit throughout the summer, and we're so glad that we're going to be able to answer those public transportation questions. And we have some more of these coming up throughout the rest of the summer. So this is going to be our transfer talks leg of the STEP program. Things to expect today are our virtual workshops. We have had some on IGETC and housing and financial aid. Those are all available with their recordings and chaptered out into sections and with some great notes by Olivia, our peer coach who's on staff here today. Those are all on our website. And we will continue to have just a few more throughout this summer. One of our last pieces of STEP that we haven't launched quite yet is going to be our transfer map. So as you're thinking about the classes you'll take this fall and in the coming years, how do you also want to be involved outside of the classroom? What internships and jobs and research do you want to get involved in? So we'll give you a map and some plans and some leading questions for how to think about all this. And then also provide a chance to win some of our bookstore gift cards and some Triton cash for your participation. Red Talks just ended, so I'm going to skip over that slide. But our last event to look forward to is STEP Welcome Day. So coming up the day before classes start, September 27th, we will be in Matthews Quad, right in the center of campus in Price Center, and give you a chance to just meet all the peers that you've been in webinars throughout summer with, meet our peer coaches, have some barbecue. We have picnic blankets for the first, I think, 100 folks who make it there. So it'll be a good time. From 11 to 1 will be lunch and just some social hours and some outdoor games. And then from 1 to 2, we'll have a hot spots on campus tour. So pointing out some of the buildings you might have classes in, showing you some of the resource centers that we'll be discussing in all of these sessions. And we're excited to get to see you all there. For those of you who are first gen students, if you elected that when you signed up for this program, we're going to be reaching out soon with more info on the Triton Transfer Promise, which will be a program continuing on into this first academic year, and keep an eye out for an email from us there. As I mentioned before, we keep all of these recordings and some cliff notes on our page. If you go to transferstudents.ucsd.edu and go under this new admits tab to click STEP, you'll get to see all of these. And likely by Friday, we'll have the notes from today up there as well. And if you wait until the very end of this session, we do a little raffle at the end. So this QR code is up now. If you have your phone out and want to scan and take attendance now, you're more than welcome. Know that at the very end of the session, we will have that link as well as the QR code available to you at the end. And without further ado, we will go ahead and pass off to our wonderful guest presenters and talk about getting around campus, parking, and shuttles. I'll go ahead and stop sharing my screen and pass off to Jose. And you are still on mute at the moment.
There we go. You'd think after all these years I'd get to better practice at that. Thank you, Tessa, and thank you everybody who's participating. It's my pleasure to be here and to be able to share some great news and information with you, and to generally say that everyone here at the UC San Diego team is happy to have you and will be available. If throughout your academic careers, if other questions come up, or if we can be of any help to you in getting around or just kind of navigating the university. So we're happy to continue this, but I appreciate the opportunity to give this kind of overview of our available transit and transportation services. So let me start by sharing my screen. I've got a presentation here. And you should be able to see that now. Is that sharing okay? All right, great. So again, my name is Jose Perez. I am the Associate Director, the General Manager for Triton Transit here. We do the shuttle services on campus. And you may have seen them around, you may not, but I'm going to be giving you a little bit of an overview of the services that we have available to the students, visitors, guests, and faculty of the university. And so just a little bit of background on myself. I'm an alum from 2005. I began my career in public transit by driving the shuttle buses here on campus. So it's and then I went into the private and public sectors, about 15 years worth of experience there, and it's been great to have been able to come back to UC San Diego. I came back last year. And prior to that, I was in Northern California area, serving near Sacramento as the acting deputy executive director for Yolo County Transportation District. So again, it's nice to be back at the alma mater and to help train and mentor the next generation of leaders. So what is Triton Transit? We are a public transit service that's operated on the university on campus and some of our affiliate locations. And we offer fixed route buses both on and off campus. We have a dedicated service that we call Triton Transit Mobility. That is an eligibility-based kind of point-to-point service that we help folks get onto campus, and we primarily utilize electric carts for those for that services. Again, that's an accessibility service that's eligibility-based. And then we have an open on-demand service that helps provide kind of some extended hours service or connections along our fixed route stops and later in the evenings and during break periods, so that folks who are maybe studying late or missed that last bus still have some additional options. And I can get into more specifics about how those services operate. Our current weekday schedule during the summer, we operate these 6 routes. Those are the names and the times. Generally speaking, we're at about 15-minute frequencies. We run our outside loops and inside loops. Oh, I apologize. This list is actually a little out of date. But we operate 6 routes on campus, and I'll get into some maps of what they are. During the summer, we're running most of them until about 6 p.m. And we operate them on a reduced service. But during the school year, this is what we're anticipating being able to run, is about 15-minute service on during the majority of the day on campus. And I'll get into kind of what our loop system is, or what our fixed routes, where they serve, and how they help get us around. We also have a route that connects our east parking lots, the Regents Express lot. And those are our discount parking lots, and our parking team will get into that a little bit more about where to park and how to park. But our buses do connect those lots directly to the middle of campus, the central campus trolley station. We also have our Scripps Institute of Oceanography, or SIO route, that connects campus to the SIO facilities, lecture halls, and administrative offices. And we have our South Mesa route, which connects to the primarily, but not only, grad housing in the Mesa area over, again, on East Campus, connects it to the main campus near Triton, where the future Triton Center Living and Learning neighborhood is going to be. Our weekend service is we have a couple of routes that operate during the weekday. Again, on the weekends, generally less frequent, the Inside Loop and the Scripps Institute of Oceanography route. But we also have a weekend only route that's called the Grocery Shuttle Convoy. And I know that there's a couple of folks who are interested in some more info on that. That is a service that travels outside of campus to a number of different community locations. We recently updated one of the stops to add new destinations, including hardware stores, the Claremont Shopping or Town Center, some other markets and grocery options. And it's primarily intended to allow students who are living on campus an opportunity to explore the area a little bit and have opportunities to shop at some more diverse grocery locations, markets, etc., while also being able to come back to campus. So I'd be happy to answer any questions we have about that. And so just a very rough overview, very high level of where we serve the different areas. This is a map showing generally where our inside loop, outside loop, South Mesa regions and Health Campus Connector buses run on campus. This yellow line here, if you're following along, is our inside loop. We call it that because it travels on the inside of the road or in a clockwise direction. And I apologize, it looks like, yeah, so that's the yellow loop is inside. The black route is the outside loop, which travels in a counterclockwise direction around campus. The South Mesa is this purple line that again connects, you can see on the east end of campus, our grad housing, which is on the eastern end, along near the medical center, and then over towards the Mandeville auditorium. Our Regents Express is the green line, which a little hard to tell on this map, but it connects our east parking lots along Voigt Drive to the central campus trolley station. And the blue line is our Health Campus Connector, which is a little smaller van that we utilize that does loops around the medical center to help our guests and visitors access the medical services when they park on campus. Our SIO route, or Scripps Institute of Oceanography route, you can see connects the main campus at the Gilman Transit Center, travels along the route to the SIO area down La Jolla Shores, drive down into the Forum area. We get you basically right to the beach on this bus, and then it brings you back onto campus. It also makes stops at the lecture halls down there and the Birch Aquarium. So if you have a desire to go visit that, just to enjoy the aquarium, or if you find employment there, our services do get you there about every 15 minutes during the school year. And this is a map of the grocery convoy route. You can see on the top of the image there is where it begins kind of on campus at the Gilman Transit Center. And then it travels south, basically not stopping again until it gets into the Claremont area. And so this first stop down on the bottom of the image is, and the white circles are stops. That first stop is a new one we added called, we're calling La Tiendita. It's a little Hispanic Latino market called La Tiendita, but it also connects across the street to a fairly large shopping center that has things like, I believe, an Ace Hardware, Jack in the Box. And so not just grocery and shopping, but also potentially employment on the weekends. And so this service it currently runs about every 30 minutes on weekends, Saturday and Sunday from 10 to 6. And that's what we expect to be able to run. Historically, this service ran about once an hour. Well, I apologize. During the summer, it runs reduced, so it is once an hour. But during the school year, we aim to run that about every 30 minutes, a Saturday and Sunday only. And so it does provide a number of opportunities for folks to get off campus a little bit, get some additional options in terms of discount groceries or shopping. It does connect to some ethnic, a little bit more diverse groceries and markets. And I'd be happy to afterwards answer questions about any, if there are any specifics as to, where it goes or what markets are available and served. And this route is our Hillcrest Express route. It connects the Old Town Trolley to the UC San Diego Health Services, our medical center in Hillcrest. Currently runs about every 15 minutes from that trolley station to the medical center. And it provides that connection. Historically, we had a route that operated directly from the campus to the medical center, but with the introduction of the MTS Blue Line trolley, it was duplicative. And so we wanted to make sure that we're being effective with our university's resources while still making sure that people were able to get to where they needed to go. And so you can connect from the trolley on campus, ride it to Old Town, and then from Old Town to the medical center if you have need to use those resources or for employment, etc. For our demand responsive services that I mentioned earlier, we have Triton Transit Mobility. And so, as I mentioned, those are eligibility-based services. We work with partners on campus, the Office of Students with Disabilities, or OSD, as well as DCC, Disabilities and Counseling, for faculty and staff who identify those students or faculty and staff that may need a little bit of assistance to get around campus. And so based on their criteria, and we would refer our potential customers to those offices to determine eligibility. But once eligible for the service, any of the spots that you see here, and this is a kind of large scale overview of the campus, any of those stops are where we can pick you up or drop you off with an electric cart. And so you can see how well some of you who've had a chance to kind of explore campus a little bit and all those fun hills and trails and stairs and things that may be a little tough to get to if you have special needs or temporary needs, like if you have a cast or crutches. Our cart service will help you get to those places, and we can take reservations and schedule them in advance to make sure that you're able to get to class, get to recreational or social activities. There's no limit for how many trips you can make in a day beyond our own capacity to do so. There's no charge. It just is an eligibility-based service, and we don't ask where you're going. We don't ask what you're doing. We just need to know where you're going, when your desired pickup time is or desired arrival time, so that we can help coordinate those trips along with everyone else who needs the service. And again, all we do is basically confirm eligibility with our partners. The hours of that service mirror the fixed route buses. So on any given day, the weekdays were generally open from about 6:37 to 10 o'clock at night. That's when this service would be available. And on the weekends, it mirrors it. So we have generally on the weekend service from 10 a.m. to about 6 p.m. That's when these services would also be available. As I mentioned, that Triton Transit On Demand, we only offer that really, and that's open to anybody, no eligibility required, and it's truly on demand, but we only offer that later in the evenings and during break service. When we reduce our buses, we would then also supplement that reduction with some of this on-demand service, meaning like not everybody gets to go home for breaks and not everybody is done studying at 6 p.m. on the weekends. So we have some limited availability to extend those with this on-demand service. We would send a cart to fixed route bus locations. So our Triton Transit stops on campus and pick you up to another and drop you off at another fixed route bus stop on campus. So slightly different than the point-to-point service that the eligibility-based service provides, but the on-demand is open to everybody. And when that service is available, it's just a range. We provide those trips on a capacity basis, first come, first serve. There's no real guarantee that we'll be able to get you exactly when you want to go there, but it is on demand, and we go to the existing bus stop locations to kind of keep it simple for our customers and for our drivers. And so I've been throwing a lot of information out at you. I don't expect you all to memorize all of this. I don't have all of it memorized, but we do offer a service information product called a Translog, and that's our real-time service information partner. It's GPS based, and it has predictive arrivals for our fixed route buses. We asked, and these materials, I believe, Tessa, will be available after this presentation. You'll be able to visit these links or visit them now if you like, to download the app or to email us at Triton Transit or call us for support. But essentially, if you're able to download this app onto your phone and log in with UC San Diego's information, you'll be able to then see the routes that you want to see, your favorite routes or the only ones that you're interested in. It'll provide you with the real-time bus location information so that you can see, hey, if it's running a little bit behind and it maybe is not great weather, you don't have to be waiting at an outside bus stop. You can save yourself 10 minutes of sitting in the rain by checking the real-time location of the bus and coming out right before it gets there. So it's been really useful. We also put out service alerts through this platform. So if there are known delays or detours, those will be available on a route-specific basis on this app. And that's something that we would love to have as many folks be aware of and use as possible. Similarly, this UC San Diego specific map is available here at this link. Our information is also on this map, and this is where I was able to kind of make those maps, those images that I shared with you about the mobility stops and locations. There's a number of different fields on the left-hand columns you can kind of turn on and off those routes and services that you are interested in. I believe all of our parking lot information is also available here, which again, we're going to be giving you information about that. But this location, this map is a really useful tool. If you've seen some of the digital kiosks on campus, I believe they also kind of link to this map, and you can kind of get that same real-time information from them. It's the same. It's just this can now live on your phone. I have it as a bookmark on mine, so I can access it when I need to. But it has all of our bus stops, their names, the mobility pickup and drop-off locations in case there's any questions about where that is. And ultimately, if you have other questions about that, about our services, you're welcome to call us. This phone number here on the previous slide is our primary customer service line. It's our dispatch line, and it's available anytime that we have service out there. So one last thing I wanted to let all you guys know, and thank you for letting me take this much time. We are hiring. So we are one of the best paying jobs on campus. We have a large group of students that we employ and we train. We pay for training, and it's up to $23.40 an hour. We have very flexible schedules. We work around our student classes and finals, and understand that the focus for everyone on our team, all of our students, employees, is their academics and their health and well-being. And so we emphasize that by, again, accommodating schedule changes. We make sure that we do our bidding around the known classes. And if there are conflicts because of midterms or finals, we work with the team, to make sure that they take the time they need to be prepared for their academics. And if there's any questions, don't take my word for it. I'm the general manager. Of course, I'm going to say all the great stuff. You are more than welcome to come by to our offices, chat with our actual team members. We plan on doing some more recruitment events and tabling during Welcome Week in the first few weeks of classes. If you see us out there, come on by, say hello. We'd be happy to chat with you, and we'd be happy to have you apply and join our team. So as I mentioned, we do drive commercial buses. We provide all of the in-house training to get your commercial bus license. So no worries on that end. Anybody can be trained. All we ask is that you have at least a California Class C license and have been driving for a year in the States. So if if you're from out of state and you have a license from out of state, that's okay. It's more about the experience driving, and we'll work with folks who are interested. And so at that point, if you've got any other questions, I'd be more than happy to either answer them during the Q&A or separately if you want to come and ask us about those.
Thank you so much. That is so much wonderful and helpful information. The Q&A box is open, so if there's anything that comes to you as you are thinking through all the things that Jose just shared, please feel free to pop your questions in there. We'll also, as he mentioned, have a more live Q&A at the very end. So thank you so much. That was wonderful. I also use our public transit, even though I have a car, just because it makes getting to the airport and to the beach with no parking so much easier. So thank you for the work you do to make that happen. I appreciate it.
And I appreciate the opportunity. I'm going to go ahead and stop my share now, and thank you all.
Thank you. And I'm going to go ahead and pass off to one of our Triton Transfer alum, Megan. And thanks so much for being here.
Of course. Hi, everybody. I'm happy to be here. Thank you, Jose. That was awesome. Jose, there was a Triton Transit question that just came in that I gave a brief answer to, if you want to elaborate more. So hi, everybody. Let me share my screen with you. Alrighty. Can we see that? Let's put it in present mode. Can we see that now?
That looks perfect.
Alrighty. Okay, so hi everybody. My name is Megan. I work in transportation as well, and I'm here to talk about pretty much everything else transportation related that is not shuttles. Like Tessa mentioned, I am an alumni. So I grew up in Santa Barbara. I went to Santa Barbara City College for 2 years. The pandemic started during my freshman year. I came to UCSD 2 years ago. I did 2 years here. I got my BA in international business, and I just graduated about 2 months ago. And now I'm working full-time in the department. So I'm really excited to be here and present this because I have experiences coming in as a transfer. Before we start, though, I do have a poll for everybody. So Alrighty, I have two questions. So here's the first one, just so I can better kind of target this towards our attendees. I'd love to know who's a commuter versus who's a resident. Oh, we're pretty even. Wow. Okay, so it looks like we're pretty even, but a few more residents. Thank you all so much. I'm going to end this poll and send through another one while I continue talking. For those of you who are living, whoa, okay, there we go. Sorry guys, haven't done a poll. I've only been the student on the student side of these Zooms before. If you're living on campus, just go ahead and enter where you are living on campus. That way I can also kind of help with some directions there if that's applicable. Alrighty, so getting into this. So there's a lot to cover here. So we've split this up into 3 different sections, and I know this looks like a lot. Not all these sections are equal. The first one is significantly longer than everything else, but we're going to cover getting to campus, getting around campus, and getting around San Diego. Everything, again, that's non-shuttles related. So first, starting with getting to campus, first we're going to talk about the trolley and the UPass and everything there. So the trolley is a really great feature. The blue line just opened up through UCSD my junior year here, so 2 years ago. And so this stops right on campus, which is amazing if you live most places in San Diego, because it'll bring you right here. A lot of students use it, a lot of staff and faculty use this as well. They run all day, it's awesome. And if you're living on campus, UTC is just like 2 or 3 stops one way. So if you ever want to go to the mall, that's nice and convenient there. Although public transit is more than just the trolley. So to use this, we have this program called the UPass. So the UPass is amazing. It covers unlimited access to pretty much all buses and trolleys, with a few exceptions on here. In North County, the Breeze buses are covered, but the coaster trains, they're like kind of like Amtrak trains, that is not covered, along with a few other routes on here. But to activate it, it's fairly simple. So for fall, winter, and spring, these are covered through your student transportation fees. So all you have to do is go into your Pronto app, make sure you're logged in with your UCSD email, and you'll activate. The fall UPass is going to be available starting 9/15/2023, so coming up. For summer, though, it's a little different. If any of y'all are going to be on campus next summer or just around San Diego and want to use the UPass, you will have to purchase it. It's not included in your fees for summer. So if you want to, you have to purchase it on the portal. We push it to Pronto for you, and you're all good there. So in the event that you are using public transit and you're having issue with your app, or maybe you lost your card, or maybe you lost your phone and now you have a new phone, or just you have access issues, here's how to reach out to us. So these are hyperlinks, and you'll see them on the copy of the slides later. But there's some FAQs that are on there, as well as information on the summer pass. We can also assist you. Just send us an email to parking@ucsd.edu with your first and last name, card number, and explanation of what's going on. As of late, a lot of folks have been emailing us just saying Pronto help, to which we need to inquire about the problem. So if you ever have a problem, just please elaborate on what it is ahead of time so we can assist you quicker. So now into parking. So there's a lot to cover on parking. So we try to break this down in the most comprehensible way. So for undergraduates, we have 2 kind of different groups. So we have upperclassmen standing and lowerclassmen standing. So most people coming in should have junior or senior level standing. This is upperclassmen standing. This would enable you to purchase S or SR permits. If you have sophomore standing, or anybody that happens to have freshman standing, you are not allowed to park on campus. You're not allowed to purchase S or SR permits. You would need to fill out that lowerclassmen exception request if you wanted to be considered. That's reviewed by a committee. They'll either accept or deny. You can apply once per quarter, and you do need to get that in by the first week. So if anybody knows you're coming in with like sophomore standing, you can go ahead and fill it out now. It's on our website. There is something to note here, though, about disability and medical accommodations. So if you have an ADA placard, and this is specifically if it's issued to you or you are actively driving somebody who has one, parking is free. If you click on that link there, it'll show you exactly where to park. You can park in most places, but there are some exceptions, so make sure to look at that. Also, PSA, our office does issue citations. Our department issues citations if you're parking where you're not supposed to. If you park in a handicap space and you do not have a handicap placard, worst case, you'll get a $450 citation. Best case, your placard gets revoked, and we will take it from you if you're using somebody else's placard on their behalf, because that is illegal. So please, please, please do not park in handicap spaces if you're not handicapped. Please save them for the people who need them. You also don't want to deal with any of the repercussions. They're not fun. If you don't have a placard though, and you do need some sort of accommodations, like Jose said, just work directly with OSD, the Office for Students with Disabilities, and they can determine some reasonable accommodations that we're happy to assist with. Unfortunately though, if you don't have documented accommodations, like we can't directly assist you, it does need to go through OSD. So now for an explanation of parking. There are some confusion here, and between S or SR permits, you're eligible for one or the other. So S stands for student, SR stands for student resident. So S permits, I'm just going to go down there. So S permits are for commuters only. It is a daily option only. So each day you come to campus, you will have to purchase that. It is $5.25 a day, and you can only purchase it on Park Mobile using the zone code that's right there. You do have to be logged in with your UCSD email for it to work. An S permit cannot park in an SR space. SR spaces are designated specifically for residents as a perk for living on campus. But SR permits can park in S spaces. So SR permits are the only type that can park there. So those SR permits are for on-campus residents only. They are consecutive day permits that are flexible. So it's a minimum of 30 days, a maximum of 365. I personally lived on campus both years in Pepper Canyon, and I purchased an SR permit. I would personally purchase it for the quarter and just look when finals were going to be. If you, for whatever reason, like get rid of your car, we can always cancel it, but it does have to be after 30 days. And you can purchase that on the portal through, you do have to log in with your single sign-on there. One more note on the SR permits, it is only one vehicle per permit, same with the S permits. So you can only link one car. If you're bringing multiple cars to campus, you will need to pay for a second permit. And then a little more information on S and SR at large. So we do operate parking in kind of a tiered system, with A at the top, which is for faculty and senior staff. B is for staff and graduate students. And then we have S, and then we have D for discount, and then visitors, kind of its own little game. So because S is above D, you can always park in the discount lots whenever you'd like with an S permit. It'll always be fine. And then we have these things called upgrade hours. So from 4 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. on weekdays and all day on weekends, you can park in B, A, and V spaces, which personally, I used to park out in the discount lots, and then I just moved my car closer to a B space for the weekend if I knew I was going to be driving out and about. That's more than welcome. Just note here, there are a few exceptions about the V spaces. We do have patient visitor spaces on the health side of campus. Don't park in those. You will get a ticket with an S permit. Likewise with the Gilman parking structure and lot P113, which is right next to the student center. And all of this is on our website as well. If you look at commute, and then for undergraduate students, it lists where you can park with everything in case you ever forget. I do recognize though that that is a pricey option. I'm sorry, hold on, going back. I don't know if I said this. It's $330 a day for the SR permit. So you are incentivized to purchase those consecutive day permits if you're living on campus. But I do understand it is expensive. We do have some cheaper options. You can purchase daily D permits out in the discount lots, which are these green icons over here on the right side, which is actually where that Regents Express shuttle picks up, as well as on the left side over here. It's kind of hidden behind the pink one, but that is called our Gliderport lot. Not a transportation thing, but sunsets at Gliderport are beautiful. In your time here, please go to a sunset at Gliderport at least once, please, please. So those are daily permits, $425 a day. You can purchase them on Park Mobile or on the portal. It doesn't matter. And there are specific lots 24 hours a day. They do have the same upgrades 4 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. except for SR, because again, SR spaces are only for SR permits. Then we also have Super Saver permits as well that are $3.25 a day. This map is outdated. I think it says $3 on those little pink icons, but that is wrong. You can purchase them on Park Mobile, and those only allow parking in 2 specific lots, and those never upgrade. So if you're coming to campus and you just care about the cheapest option, that's the way to go, and it's only available on Park Mobile. One thing here that's not directly written in the slides is that we do understand parking is expensive. So if you are ever purchasing a permit on the portal, there is an option to check out through student billing and charge it to student billing. So then the permit will be active from the date you purchase it, but it'll show up on your next billing cycle through student billing. So if you do have financial aid and an excess in which you might get a refund, you could put your parking on there, but it is up to you. Any permit that you can only purchase on Park Mobile, though, is unfortunately unavailable to be purchased through student billing. Alrighty, we're almost done with the parking section. So carpool. Carpool is a great option. We have a lot of people on campus, between people living on campus, people working on campus. We also have a robust medical side of campus as well with UCSD Health. So there are constantly doctors, nurses, hospital staff, as well as patients and their loved ones on campus. So at times, parking can be rather challenging to find, but a way to get around that would be a carpool. So first, to do carpool, you do need to set up a group. You can't just say, hey, I got my buddies, I'm gonna go park in this carpool space, because you will get a ticket. You do need to get it set up through us first. So to set up a group, you can find possible members through Triton Commuter Club or through just your network. You do need upper class and standing for everyone in the group. Then you'd email us and you'd gain specific access to carpool spaces. A great incentive here is you can split the cost with your group. We don't manage that. However you want to split it up is for your group to decide. But if you log your trips on Triton Commuter Club, you can redeem them for a 50% off 1-day permit or a 50% off 10-day permit, which are valid in whatever zone you would use. So S, SR, either one, it would work. So a bit more on Triton Commuter Club. It is more than just incentives and cheaper parking. We do have that though, and there are raffles through there, but you can get discounts on a U-Lock as well as on a helmet, or you can also pick up a sticker at Campus Bike and Skate, the Gilman Service Center, which is in the Gilman parking structure, or the bookstore. You can place it on your helmet, and then like certain vendors on campus, like in Price Center, do give discounts for that. And then last thing on parking, this is a great resource for our commuters. I know there are fewer commuters than residents, but I highly recommend this. Our surveys team goes out and collects data for the first 2 weeks of every quarter, and they post their data online so you can see at what time spaces fill up or at what time spaces are available. If you are coming to campus, I highly recommend this, because then you can check ahead of time and then you're not just stuck driving around. You can have a plan in mind before you drive to campus. Alrighty, getting around campus. So first, we have micromobility. So we do partner with Spin. We have bikes and scooters, and it's app driven. You just log in with your UCSD email. There are promotions all the time through there. And on the app, you can see designated areas to park it. You can also bring your own personal scooter or bike, but please register your ride. This helps in case it is ever stolen and that it's indexed. If you want to keep your bike more safe, I highly recommend keeping it in your apartment is one option. We also have a bunch of bike cages throughout campus. So the Gilman parking structure has one. I think the newest one is right next to Pepper Canyon. They're in several other places throughout campus, but it's quite large. I think it stores up to like 50 bikes or something. And you just get access. Your ID is reprogrammed. So you just tap in and then you can access it. You do need to lock your bike within there though, but it is more safe because it is key card access controlled. And then on campus, we have the bike and skate shop that can help with repairs, parts, anything you need, they're there. They got some really cool skateboard decks. If anybody skateboards, I was in there last week. They're amazing. And then they also have discounted helmets and locks through Triton Commuter Club. Another great thing for getting through campus is these campus waypoints. So this top photo is actually taken right next to the central campus trolley stop. If you see above it, like in the top left-hand corner, that little light tan piece is actually the rail for the trolley. And this is where a lot of the shuttles get off. It's an interactive map. You can look at upcoming events, waypoints, look for different things. It's basically just maps.ucsd.edu, but in an interactive big touchscreen form. There are also waypoints throughout campus. As you can see in that bottom photo, you can just scan the QR code. It'll pull it up in maps where you are, and you can learn about it. And then one more PSA. If you are ever looking for something on campus, everything on campus has the address 9500 Gilman, with the exception of everybody res life. Everybody's dorm address is 9450 Gilman. However, it's 9500 Gilman and then a set of numbers, which is the mailing code. But that won't tell you where you need to go. So if you're ever curious, can't figure out where you're going, if you can find the building name and not that address, you will be in good shape, because just the mailing code will not get you very far. And then I also understand that you might have short-term parking needs, whether it's you, maybe it's a friend coming in, whatever it is, we have different options. So we do have loading, unloading zones throughout campus. Most of them are signed 20-minute. There are a couple 30-minute loading zones as well. You don't actively need to be loading or unloading. If you're just waiting for a friend, you can pull in there, grabbing something from your apartment, whatever it is. You don't have to be actively loading, unloading. But if you're just parked on the side of the road, you are liable to receive a citation. You do need to be in a marked space. So these loading zones are a great option for that. And there's no permit required. You just have to obey by the posted signage about the time limit. Another option is visitor parking. If you know you're going to have to be there longer than 20 minutes, the first 30 minutes of visitor parking is free. You do have to activate it though, in either a pay station in the structure or Park Mobile for anywhere. That way our compliance team does know you have an active session. And then if you need to use it for longer, it's $4.20 an hour, or it maxes out at $33.60 per day. If you are doing a longer session, just know that the 30 minutes factors in and it will be free. But if you're just showing up for 30 minutes, you can log that as well as free. And then getting around San Diego. I'm sorry, one more thing before we go back on here. I was reminded of something through Jose's amazing presentation about SIO. If you're going to SIO, note that if you're trying to park there, you do need to have special clearance through the SIO director's office to park there, or you could receive a ticket. They're not fun, don't do it. So either reach out through SIO, you do have to have a reason for being there, or just use the shuttles. But please don't just drive your car over to SIO because you really want to enjoy the sunset. Make sure you're looking at the signs. Just don't park in a random SIO lot, because it's more than likely you'll receive a ticket. Alrighty, and now for some fun stuff, getting around San Diego. So being on campus, I'm sure you want to explore a lot. Maybe you have a car, maybe you don't. This is a great option though, Zipcar. So it's an on-demand car sharing platform that includes insurance and fuel. They do have a web version or an app, and there are several locations throughout campus where there are cars there. So the ground is just marked reserved. You'll see that little green logo on the side of each car. And they're in several places. There are a bunch in grad housing. There are a few ones in the Gilman parking structure and a few in lot P602 as well. And then another option too, this is for getting around San Diego. It also could be for getting home. Flixbus is a great option. So it's really cheap travel, and there are a bunch of stops in San Diego. So we have one on campus, which is near the medical center and the Preuss School, which is a great resource. It's the Preuss School is for first generation high school students. And it's a high school that we have on campus. Sorry guys, skipped ahead. And then there are a bunch of stops through San Diego. I've personally looked into taking this back to my home in Santa Barbara, and it's about $39, which is cheaper than gas to get there. So I highly recommend. It's a great resource. Alrighty, thank you all. We're happy to answer questions, but if you do have any other questions that aren't answered here, we have a couple emails. Our hours of operation are 6:30 a.m. to 6 p.m. Monday through Friday. If you have parking related issues, please email parking@ucsd.edu. If you have any issues about a citation that you received, you would go ahead and email citations@ucsd.edu. And there's our phone number as well. And a lot of these links that are on here are actually in the link tree on our Instagram, UCSD Transportation. There's pretty much everything you need to know, including links to the jobs as well. Alrighty. Thank you all. I'm going to go ahead and stop sharing. One comment though, before I turn this back to Tessa, is that we are also hiring. We hire through Handshake. One thing to note though, is that you do need to have a valid California driver's license to work in our side of the department. If you don't though, the broader department also includes the bookstore and the early childhood education center, which is preschool near grad housing. And you can always apply for those as well if you don't have a driver's license. All right, thank you all.
Thank you so much. I was able to address some of the questions based off what you shared, but there are still a few hanging out in the chat. If you both don't mind addressing some of those. Something I saw asked quite a few times and I wanted to address to the whole group is for the UPass. Can you talk a little bit about activation? Does it just automatically show up in Pronto? Do they have to like purchase it though it's free? What does that process look like?
Yeah, that's a great question. So I want to see if I can show you live, but I don't know if I have Pronto offloaded. So essentially you would, let's see if my phone blurs out, but essentially you just open the Pronto app, you make sure you're logged in and create an account with your UCSD email. All you have to do, hold on. Sorry guys, I'm gonna unblur. Alrighty, so you have manage at the bottom. You would click on that. I'm sorry guys, this is not gonna work, but essentially you click on manage and then student and employee programs, and then you'll see Triton UPass. It should have something to denote it for each quarter. So it should say fall UPass. And then you just click, I think it's link. But it's simple. And if you ever have any questions on how to do that, there actually is a YouTube video that can walk you through it on our website.
Wonderful. Thank you so much. Another question I'm seeing coming in the chat a couple times is, when are the worst and best times to get to campus traffic wise? And that's a good question because my response is, are you coming from the north or the south? It's pretty similar, but.
And I was just working on typing up a response. I'll just answer it live. The short answer is it depends. Again, like Tessa said, where you're coming from and the day of the week I've found, because especially with some, I know we're all coming back to in-person classes and sessions. There are still, or at least there were last year, some hybrid. And so I found based on our ridership and just general traffic, early morning before 8 a.m. is generally congested. And then beginning around 3 p.m. is when the kind of exiting congestion gets bad as far as vehicular traffic until about 5:30, 6 o'clock. And that's also because a lot of folks, staff and faculty schedules end around that time as well. And so they're exiting the campus. Getting on campus is a little bit more diffuse because, again, some faculty and staff start at different hours or different times. But yeah, that's generally what I've been seeing. And then in terms of like foot pedestrian traffic, it's going to be right before and right after classes get out or start. You'll see a lot of pedestrian activity and which is always fun on Library Walk and by 6th College, Price Center, etc.
And we have a clarifying question of the cost. Do you mind just sharing the daily cost for the commuter or student pass, the discount pass, and the SR pass just one more time?
Totally. So if you're buying them daily, I didn't quite phrase it this way initially. For S parking, whether it's S or SR, if you buy the daily option, it's $5.25. I do though, if you are a student resident, recommend the consecutive day option because it brings that amount down to $3.30. It is consecutive though, so it's valid through the weekends. But you might use that SR daily if, for example, you only purchase it till the beginning of finals week and then you have to stay for more, then you can just choose daily. Discount parking is $4.25 and Super Saver is $3.25. And then carpool is the same price as an S or SR permit. It would be $5.25.
Thank you so much. For the sake of just capturing our attendance, I'm going to go ahead and share screen to make sure that everyone gets a chance to enter the raffle. By no means does this mean that you have to stop asking questions, or for our folks, if you see a question you feel called to answer live, absolutely feel free to do so. I just want to make sure that we get everything that you all need and make sure that you're all eligible to get our raffle. You'll see a poll popping up and I'll share my screen with a QR code. But if there's anyone who wants to answer questions you see, please feel free.
Yeah, so I would love to answer. Stephanie asked a great question about Pepper Canyon. So, which I think also has broader impact. So the question is, I'm going to be living in Pepper Canyon. Is it walkable from the apartments to campus? In that case, would I have to buy a parking pass? So if you are storing your car on campus, you do need a parking pass at all times. However, you're not really going to do yourself any favors if you're trying to drive from class to class. You should really just be driving into campus, parking your car, and then walking or taking the shuttle or bike or spin scooter elsewhere. Pepper Canyon, although it seems far away and although campus seems very spread out when you first arrive, I know the feeling. It's really not that far. I am somewhat of a fast walker, but it would only take me about 15 minutes to walk from my apartment in Pepper Canyon all the way to the north end of campus at the Rady School of Business. And from probably north to south, from like 7th College to the theater and dance living learning neighborhood starting right now, I'd say it's about 20-25 minutes. So it's not that bad. So to answer your question about buying a pass, I would if you're keeping your car on campus, you do need to. But as far as getting around campus, you don't need a pass just to get around campus. You're actually going to run into roadblocks there because parking fills up early. I'll answer this one too. What happened to the old-fashioned hanging parking permits? COVID happened. So there are no longer physical permits. There are very few people that do have them, but it's only for special groups. They're all virtual. So whether you're purchasing them on the portal or online, you need to go ahead and make sure your license plate is correct, because that's how our compliance team is going around and checking for permits. So they're all virtual. It also helps save paper and save you time, because you can do it at home or once you get to campus, and it's up to you about purchasing that permit. Jose, are there any you want to answer live?
I was trying to pull information about where the what other kind of route stops are at Grocery Convoy, because I know I had a prior presentation that had that information. And I wish I could answer about La Tiendita having pan dulce. My guess is that yes, they do, but I wish I could confirm that live. I'd be happy to follow up on that directly. My email and phone number and our dispatch phone number are on the slides. But yeah, we can give more information about where exactly our stops are, what that's nearby to for any of our routes, but specifically the grocery shuttle, the convoy route, so that you guys can have an idea of what's available and what are some of the options. But I do know that there's stores like 99-cent store and some other Asian or ethnic markets nearby to that route that are within walking distance or that get served directly.
Yeah, I know 99 Ranch and Zion are on there. Those are some of my favorite Asian grocery stores.
Yeah.
Highly recommend. I have a couple questions here about bikes. So there are not that many bike cages available at present. I think there are about 5 throughout campus, but there are bike racks everywhere. If you use maps.ucsd.edu, you can actually, it's interactive, so you can overlay different things. Bike racks is one of those. They're all throughout campus. Just make sure to not just lock your frame, but we recommend locking your tires as well, just to make sure that you don't have any theft issues, but you should be good there. And I have personally seen in Pepper Canyon specifically, a lot of bikes on people's balconies. They're just hanging out there. So you can totally do that. And if not, no worries. There's a question about parking after 4 p.m. I think the best way to explain it is actually looking at the website and reading it for yourself. But essentially, when there are fewer people on campus, when a lot of the full-time staff are going home, you can move your car closer. So like, for example, so it's 4 p.m. to 7:30 a.m. is when it upgrades. So for example, for me last year, I would live in Pepper Canyon. If I knew I like really wanted to go to In-N-Out later and I had a night class up at the Rady School of Management, I would just move my car over with my SR permit, park in a B space because it was after 4, and then I would move my car, go to In-N-Out, and then drive back and park in an SR or discount space that you're allowed to all the time, and then take the shuttle back to my apartment.
see. I saw a couple other questions. So in regards to Park Mobile, would they not be able to access the student piece at this time if they're not enrolled? So could they not come and visit this summer and use a student parking space?
No, so the registrar gets your information for students and it gets inputted into our software, which we have the back end of it. The portal is the same thing. You need an account to be created for you for all of the Park Mobile information to be sent by our IT team. So until you have an account with us from the registrar, you won't be able to use that, unfortunately. So right now, that's probably why. I know there are registrar delays right now. So that could be affecting that at the moment. Best parking structure for classes at Rady would be the Hopkins structure. That would be your best bet. But again, it fills up early. So it would really only work for night classes or if you're coming quite early in the morning. SR permits, they are available for Pepper Canyon residents. You have the ability to purchase SR permits if you are an undergraduate, you have upper class in standing, and you live on campus. We get data from housing, so we can see what general neighborhood you live in and that you're eligible for it. And actually, the closest parking lot to Pepper Canyon is all SR parking. So if you're having a friend try to visit you, tell them they can't park there.
Awesome. I think it looks like we have a couple left, but I think we've done well with a lot of our like large scale questions. What I'll do is just make sure that we get our wheel and get our 3 raffle winners decided. So I'm going to go ahead and share my screen once more and get our 3 folks chosen. And we can stay on for questions if there's any still at this point. But let's see who we have as our raffle winners for today. All right. Sebastian, I'll go ahead and send you an email today or tomorrow from the Triton Transfer Hub inbox and get you some UCSD goodies sent your way. Yay. And Stephanie, same thing. Keep an eye out for an email from me in the next couple of days. And our last one for this session. Ooh, Gabrielle, awesome. So keep your eye on your inbox. If you were any of our 3 winners chosen today, we will get you some raffle goodies sent your way. For those of you who are still around and you want to stay and ask some more questions, looks like we have no more open ones, but if you have any lingering questions, we'll keep the Zoom open for just a couple moments longer and be here for anything else we can support with. But otherwise, have a wonderful afternoon and thank you for joining us. And I'm going to go ahead and stop this recording.